Good evening, everyone. Welcome to what turned out to be probably one of the most value-packed in the shortest period of time and one of the most high tactically fun and impactful training video that I just realized this after I finished it. So in this video, we're going to talk about medium ticket sales, sales plays, and money models. This is 14th of July, right? So there's still around 3 to 4 weeks left until Hormozy releases his 100 million money models book. Now, the thing is, this is going to be my take on what I think the book is going to contain. Even if they end up being slightly different, these are still the strategies and processes that you can use to increase your overall money and revenue and on the in sort of the middle of the sales process, let's just put it that way. Whereas you can maximize LTV, and also I'll discuss medium ticket sales here. In the previous one, we discussed high ticket, but like the reason I discussed high ticket first and then moving into medium ticket is because sometimes people just look at medium ticket first and just get settled at it. But I want you guys to try high ticket first, and then if that feels difficult, then these strategies and processes can still make the overall system easier, as well as they might be also easier to integrate into your current systems. If you're a gym owner or if you're an online coach, these systems and players quite often sometimes have a significant effect, right? So there is no proper order, there's no structure. These are the things that I found across the a customer's journey that do end up being worth a lot. So the thing is, before I get into the actual players, there was something that Russell Brunson came or sort of popularized because, well, he made the software ClickFunnels, and that was the concept of a funnel. Funnel normally is referred into marketing terms as like a process that has a series of landing pages, upsells, downsells that gets the average cart value to be as high as possible, right? Like, for example, if somebody is going to go and buy a product, let's just say a supplement, well, they're gonna do that anyways. But and most businesses are just selling on one-off click and purchases. But what funnel would do is before they leave, it shows another page. Hey, before you go, add another bottle for 30% off. They can opt in for that offer. If they refuse to opt in for that offer, it might then downsell them onto something even cheaper. Get this get this extra supplement st testing kit or whatever for like $10 to add to your pack or something. So it would basically try to maximize the average cart value. And on average, you'd get between, depending on the price points, around 10 to 30 to 40%, sometimes even higher, of clients that would buy those things, and that would just get you so much for the same prospect, which is why it was polarized a bit. But I think the issue that happened there was the same concept applies to business in all areas, not just in marketing and landing pages. And we did cover funnels in the marketing side, but this is where I talk about this applying the same concept in real world scenarios and in actual servicing and in actual customer journeys. And I also think that's what Hormozy is focusing on. So he's like the same concept does apply on max, but instead of maximizing the average cart value, we're maximizing the lifetime value through opportunities and through systems and processes that we can figure out. And the thing is, the reason that's so important is because even if after you opt somebody in for a low ticket product or a free product, you want to be able to sell them. If you can't sell them a high ticket, but the reason we sell high ticket is not because we want high ticket. There are two reasons. First, we want front end cash collected to be max. Second one is so our LTV is as high as possible per client, right? Now, sometimes it's strategically safer to still get a high LTV in still potentially a short amount of time without selling high ticket upfront. And that's what we're going to discuss in this video. And the reason that sometimes it's also easier to integrate into existing systems and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like use this if your quality of prospects is a bit weird, or only use this if you can't close them on high ticket. So before they leave, don't sell them on to medium ticket products, right? So you try to maximize all the prospects that are coming through the door. So anyways, let's get started. So first one is that structuring offers and using opportunities in a way to maximize the LTV and minimize churn. So what you do is you don't want someone to just use the challenge and then leave because churn is one of the biggest killers of a business. But you also don't just want them to stay for longer. You want them to actually ascend. You want them to spend more money. We do discuss this more in retention and ascension, which happens later on. But this is sort of mostly focusing on ascensions, stuff like that, right? So let's say somebody comes in for a challenge that is priced at $500. Now, what I could do is at the end of that 500 challenge, which is something I'll talk about this later. But it's just that like at the end of every offer, there's another offer, which is something they haven't experienced before or something they would naturally require. So that's the path they're being led in, and you satisfy every single desire so you can get them to stay as long as possible. If they've had dinner, give them dessert. If they've had dessert, give them wine. If they've had wine, give them like a ride home or something, like take care of everything. And then get them to want to come back next time as well, because there's something special going on for the next visit that they don't want to miss. But let's get started. So the first play is win your money back um, to high ticket long-term play. So this is a medium ticket that leads into high ticket. This was probably one of the more signature sales plays of gym launch, but it doesn't just have to be about challenges, right? You could do this for pretty much anything. Heck, you could call it challenge anything. You could call it challenge a boot camp. You could call it like Hell Week or whatever. You could make it 7 days long. It doesn't have to be 6 weeks long. If you're doing virtually, you could do like a workshop, and then during the workshop, you can ascend people into this next tier. But the thing is, there's a goal that they have. For example, lose 10 pounds or like gain this much muscle or whatever the target is. If they achieve that, they can get their money back. So we advertise this as free, but when we are communicating with them and after we set them up and we do a gap selling process and we try to sell them high ticket because the goal they have likely will not be fulfilled in 6 weeks or 3 days. And they're like they give you a lot of resistance and you and the depo and like instead of collecting a deposit or like giving them like doing it on an installment plan, sometimes it's just easier to then just downsell them on the actual offer they came up for, which if in this case is the challenge that you use to hook them and then just get them on the challenge. But say that so how it works is um you make a deposit of $300, and once you hit the target of losing 10 pounds by the end of the challenge, we'll give you your money back, right? And if they ask who they don't want it or they want to like they can't justify it, they're like if they're being a bit weird about it, you can just say, well, we tried in the past where we offered this for free. And our experience was that everybody that came in didn't end up sticking to it because there was no skin in the game, right? And the last two batches were like they didn't get the results because people weren't as accountable. So that's why we get you to make this deposit, which is completely refundable. And if you hit the target, you get it back. This is just what works best, right? And considering this is important to you and you want to fix this once and for all, you want to create a situation where you have no choice but to make it work. So if you um and obviously considering we've framed them and built that report with them before, so I think they should be fine. Then what happens is midway through and this also works like especially if you're a online coach as well, you can do this for like a workshop as well or something else that educates them and they're able to finalize their plan during that period. But the thing is sometimes, so let's take a challenge for example, midway through the challenge, for the people who are having difficulty reaching their target or just for everyone you can do this with. Um, y- for the Okay, actually, let's just talk about the ones who are hitting their targets. If they are able to hit their target or they're getting close, just tell them, do you want, well, obviously you have that conversation again where you reaffirm them on their success so far and the fact that they were able to lose this weight or the fact that they're making progress and ask them how they feel. And then they're feeling great and you acknowledge them and you congratulate them on that. And then we circle back to what they told us at the start, which was their goal for coming in was maintaining that end goal, maintaining that result. And you obviously have made notes and you're recording sales calls and everything. So you should have it hand and you should know what they're after. So you can just say to get that goal, I think like at this stage again you can resell them back on the high ticket. Or now some of you might not sell them high ticket at all in the first call. So that's also completely fine. That works as long as you're closing them from between $300 to $500, ideally more on the higher end. for the challenge, if that is more easier to you and you're doing that more volume and you're much more like strong with closing them second or third weekend into the high ticket product. So over there, we can have the same conversation again and be like, well, if you wouldn't get the results in this period in 6 weeks, so but I think it will likely take you around 5 to 6 months. You know them, you're the expert, so you can make the plan what is required. And then you give them a customized plan for that would normally cost $99 a week or whatever, $150 a week for this accountability, for this nutrition, for all of these things that would be included that I believe if we follow, you're guaranteed to win. And you need to sign up for a minimum of 6 weeks. And because I want to help you, I will make you a guarantee that we follow this is going to work. We use the guarantee again. And what we could do is the amount you paid for this challenge, we can just credit this and get you to sign up for that contract. Does that sound fair? Right? Now you use that as a credit and make it easier for them because then they don't want to miss the credit either. And you can like even frame it the other way, which is like, want to know something even more sweet? Normally this is priced at full, but because you're still using the challenge, you can automatically, before the challenge ends, just use this as a credit, or even after the challenge ends, like since it has just been over, you can just use your amount that you paid for the challenge as credit right now to transfer yourself, and we'll just upgrade your program, right? That works well. Now, second thing is if they're failing to hit the target, you can frame and they don't want to lose the money because whatever they deposited for the challenge and they haven't lost 10 pounds yet for whatever reason, for example, we can just say that, well, hey, if I still want you to win, and I think like because you've made a lot of progress and because the results you've had are extremely promising and we can make this more personalized to you and tailor you to the process, why don't we just do this, that instead of this money being wasted, we just credit this towards a long-term program? And then I can walk you through the process and we can get you to the end goal without the pain that you've been experiencing, right? So that's like one of these play, which is win your money back that leads from medium to high ticket, um, or medium to long-term sales that you could easily do. Again, if you're somebody who's not selling, if you don't want to sell $3,000 to $5,000 products on your first um, like interactions with a person, this is something you could use. But again, keep in mind even if you close less on high ticket, you still make more money. So, and the skill is much more valuable than everybody else, and you would attract better quality clients and everything else. So, do prioritize selling high ticket upfront. Or create scenarios or situations like group sessions or something where it's easier for you to sell high ticket. But otherwise, this is a benchmark that you could use to walk into that. These are like safety zones for you guys. That's how this is structured. If you can't do that, then you should at least be able to do this using the same process because the same gap works here. Next one is, well, let's say they were like, I can't pay $300 for the challenge, or even skip that. Even the people who did sign up, right? Even your existing clients, who did sign up for the challenge, or even the ones who are more high ticket. These are things you could use, which are like that further maximize the LTV that you could get per client by baking this into your overall model. And you could pick any of them. You could pick different. There are obviously other examples as well, but like. It was the same concept earlier that somebody would have a different stomach for dessert, right? They've had the meal, they've had the fitness workouts, but they haven't had the supplements. They haven't had the meal prep. They haven't had like workout gear or mental fitness or like all of these other things. There is not fitness which doesn't come in the same category and they still need it. It's like a complementary product or service that still aligns with the main thing you're selling. And most likely, if your client wants it anyways, or if they're gonna go out and buy that stuff anyways, then you might as well sell it yourself, right? So the example with supplements, but honestly, you could use this model for anything, like not just supplements. But like with supplements, people would like you. I think Hormozy shared that story where he was like, I spent 4 hours trying to get somebody to sign up for my overall training program and got them to pay like $500 after all this effort and everything else. And then the lady during that challenge process was like, what supplements do I need? And he refused and he asked her again and she asked again and he was like, finally just take these. You can use them and you'll get better results. And she went to this supplement guy and then he, instead of selling her the supplements that Hormozy recommended, that guy just sold her something else that he got more commission on, right? And she ended up buying $700 of supplements in that like 30-minute interaction that he had with the with the supplement, like the nutrition shop. And like Harmazi was like, I'm the guy who built the relationship, who built the connection, everything else. And I just referred him over to that person, and he ended up making more sale than I did, right? That's because people have this like sort of norm that supplements are easy and fast solutions. And quite often, especially as they start getting more serious, or just because of that feeling of being fully committed, or again, creating situations where they have no escape. So they're buying stuffs just because once they get it, they have to show up to the gym and they have to be accountable, and you can use that frame as well. But like the same thinking pattern would apply here. So a lot of you guys, or there are a lot of platforms out there. I'll try to link some later in fulfillment side, but generally, you're free to do your own research too. Like, or if you already know someone or you already have like supplement or nutrition companies that are partnering with you, do that, have your margins with them, and offer those supplements to your clients during nutrition consults. And just frame it in a way that these are the nutritions that you definitely need. You don't need these ones. Like, take these supplements, they will get you the great results that you're after. And like, you don't need to get anything else, or so like, however you do it. Um, they would go in, they're going to buy the supplements anyway, so they might as well buy the ones that you're recommending and the ones that you know work and the ones that you personally take, even that's better, right? Um, and yeah, so the supplements, same goes for meal prep. They're going to eat anyways. So you might as well also during the nutrition phase, just refer them, like partner with a chef or someone and be like, if you don't have time or whatever due to busyness or nature, or if you have trouble, like get them on a meal prep service. But the thing with meal prep is the subscription of it. So many of these, like if you're working with a chef or somebody, right, or like a, or even like one of those companies out there, try to get your clients to sign up to them for subscriptions and be like, if you just sign up for this plan, like your nutrition is taken care of for the next 4 or 5 months, right? So you won't have to worry about it. Even if you do, we'd plan, we'd get it all sorted. This is like the easiest way. Otherwise, you can still obviously build their meal plans and grocery lists and everything else. But this way, what happens is because it's a subscription, it adds up over time and they get more incentivized for the longer. Same principle applies. Like the longer they subscribe to it, the more incentive they get, but also for your end, the more margins you can get potentially. Now, again, the margins on meals are not as high. So, again, these things are not like gonna replace your main source of revenue, which is the program sales and everything else, but like they still increase the LTV per client, even if it's doing that by 20-30%, like all of these things combined. And then the 20-30% adds up and covers your marketing cost and the flywheel of client financed acquisition where it's free and everything else does improve. Or this could be the edge that you would have over your competition, right? So definitely have that. Especially, and the thing is, you don't have to do it for the sake of it. But if you are able to find a company or a business or a product that does fit strongly with your brand and provides a lot of value, why wouldn't you offer it to your clients? Right? Same goes for workout gear. Other thing is we just slightly separate. These are like, remember earlier I mentioned that you can get affiliates to refer you leads. The thing is the reverse applies here too. You can send your leads or your prospects to them, including the ones who are signing up. And even if they don't, like even if sometimes worst, like this especially works if you're offering free challenges or free 2-3 weeks of training or whatever, where you're not even getting them to make a deposit, you're still onboarding them for free and getting them in, and the only thing they get is accountability as part of that, right? You can still sell them supplements and you can still sell them physio and chiro screenings and also resell them during that process onto high ticket products, right? So even if upfront somebody wasn't able to pay full amount, they will still likely spend money in the supplements or in the affiliate sections when they're getting screened for it. And with the physio and chiro screenings or mental health, mental performance coaching or things like that, what you could do is so make that part of the onboarding, the same process that I recommended you use for others who are making you part of their onboarding. And it could be like a simple screening that they get. And then you could use that screening to personalize the plan to them, and they feel like from their end, they're getting more value. But you can find these businesses, the chiros, the coaches, the performance coaches, all of these guys, who you can build those relationships with and be like, if this person ends up coming to you regularly, because they also, besides the value, would try to book them in for regular sessions and something. And during that, you get a revenue share for that. And especially the life coaches and the business coaches or the wellness coaches who have their own value ladders and their own customer journeys that reaches till the end. With them, definitely negotiate to get like a specific set percentage or something like that off the client throughout their total spending. So let's say that guy then ends up signing up for the other person's high ticket product, right? Well, you might just get a like, and if you're getting like 30% or 40% just for that referral, um, and that person ends up signing up for a $5,000 product of theirs, well, you just double the LTV without you having to do anything. That person took care of the sale, and you just had to send leads to them. So don't underestimate this. Pick the right businesses, especially with like other affiliate partners like physios, chiros, performance coaches, life coaches, or other people who can cater towards the same transformation that you're after, and they have their own high ticket programs. Definitely, it is like one of those hidden tricks that can just get you really good results, right? Now let's move on to the next one, refund sales. This is where a client is coming to you for a refund, where they're unhappy or whatever. First thing is, I would obviously talk about this in retention strategies, but have exit interviews be mandatory. When they're talking to you, obviously, you affirm their problems, you agree with them. Heck, you do Chris Voss style acquisition audit well. Or you just even become more angrier to them, like, I'm so mad that he didn't get the results that we promised to you, and you had all these issues, and you being more angry than them will get them to calm down. Um, or just you doing an acquisition audit. But you can then reframe that with the other angle being like, let us make it up to you. Based on what you've told me and based on your experience, I believe what you need is a more personalized or more hands-on approach. And that would be more suitable for you for this higher package of hours. What I could do is I can credit you the amount that you have already paid, even though and not count the time that you already spent in training, and just credit that towards the higher package and also take some money off it. So you can just get a better deal and a better service, which will allow you to get the results that you're after, right? So if they're upset and you find the reason they're upset, you could reframe that problem in a way and then make a more better offer for them to just send them on to higher level. And quite often, 30% of the times this happens. Seriously. Or you make them a better deal, or you even make a personalized deal to them, they will likely say yes. Now, depends if the person is crazy or whatever, just refund them. But we talk about that like in other lessons, but this is just like a refund sale to keep in mind, right? Now, next thing, sign people up for long-term contracts, which seems cheap when broken down. Can do this in 2 calls with extra incentive and second to pay all upfront. So this is the other play that applies to you guys who want to sell low ticket or who are a bit more uncomfortable or who have like smaller gym memberships, right? Just sell people in on long-term contracts. Like your goal is to sell them on long-term contracts because your LTV increases so much, like, and try to get them to pay upfront because they won't stick, even if they sign up for a contract. Like, we all know that a person signing up for a contract is no guarantee for them paying the cash. But let's suppose you're having trouble, um, or your sales is a bit iffy, but obviously this will improve over time. Like, seriously, you need to practice it regardless. But let's say, um, you want to make it even easier for them to say yes to that 6 months transformation or the 12 months transformation. And we want to frame it that way, like this is the period, like if you work for 6 months, you're guaranteed to get results, which obviously is going to be the case, right? And I want you to get this result that you're after, right? So what we could do is this comes to like, and this is where if you're doing a monthly plan or whatever cheaper packages you guys have, this works for the online coaches or even the in-person coaches, which have their own gym membership plus personal training or hybrid or group training sessions. Break it down onto a weekly basis, right? And then say we can get you started on this on a weekly count for the first. And but you need to sign up for 6 months or you need to sign up for 12 months, right? Because that's the time it's gonna take for you to get these results, and I can give you a better deal for that. Now, well, either with that frame, you try to get them to pay all of it upfront, and you just frame it in that way, like if you sign up for the whole year, you'll get access to this private community where there are other people who are also in it for the transformation for the whole year. Plus, you will also get access to, um, there are a few things that you could do here that I'm gonna I think like we already discussed those strategies in the retention chapter, which is going to be the one after fulfillment. But give them a better offer on paying upfront. Otherwise, get them to pay like if you don't want to, if you feel like the person isn't ready to pay the full amount up front yet, then just get them on a weekly, but get them to sign up for a long-term contract because that means they're more committed and your LTV is higher regardless. And then like right now, like you guys are starting for a minimum 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something like that. Well, just transition that. Like, even if for the worst case scenario, for those who want to integrate this into your existing systems, talk to your existing clients, try to get them to sign up for using the same high ticket framework, which is in the previous call, acknowledge their results or what they're after, and increase the pain and the desire for the result they want. And acknowledge the fact that getting that result is going to take time. But we want to make it happen and we don't want to break it down into pieces. So I want you to sign up for this program. And I could do it to you for a better deal, and this would fix this once and for all that you've told me that you want so badly. And if they're a bit hesitant, just get them started on weekly. But then have a follow-up call with them a few weeks later when they're getting a better result or when they're more happy and be like, if we need to maintain this, I would like just make a separate package or make an even better offer and then just get them to send that offer again, right? And like customizing those offers, I'll discuss more on the backend offers into the one-to-many training, which will likely be the next video, or I might make a completely separate module on that later. Um, and definitely, I'll just do that. Just you, it takes the same effort, it takes the same time, and you get better commitment and better expectations and better results from people because, like, most people otherwise would spend 1 month working out and just be like, oh, well, I'm not seeing results yet. But when someone signs up for a longer contract, they are more strategically committed to a long-term training program and process, right? And that's what you want because you know it's going to take time. You can't get um you can't make a baby in a month by getting 11 women pregnant or something like that. I think Warren Buffett said. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. Good things take time. Next one is credit of current program during or after completion to upsell to medium or high ticket or high to higher ticket. Same thing applies for high to higher ticket as well. Let's say they sign up for a $5,000 program and you want to send them onto this $20,000 or $15,000 circle that you have. Just tell them that for this more intensive, more in-person experience where you become fully independent and you can coach others, like you finally fix this once and for all, like whatever your highest package is that you would ideally want to have like a 30 to $50,000 package. Regardless, even if you don't sell it, just have it as an anchor, and honestly, you'll get a few people who do end up buying it. So why not? Plus, it frames you as the authority. But just make this really good offer, and just if you're trying to transition people into that, um, that could have like a bunch of things: premium access, lifetime access, whatever, retreats, even or things like that. So for that, you can say we can just credit the amount you've paid and I can upgrade you to that program, right? A lot easier. And add urgency scarcity. If you decided before this point, we can credit what you've paid and upgrade you. Um, Otherwise, you lose that discount later. So that expiry date increases further stakes for them to take that action, right? But that credit combined with expiry combo works really well for getting people and doesn't feel as salesy from your end because you're providing them value. That's the frame we use. Next one being combining virtual and in-person. This strategy works well too. So if you're a gym, offer hybrid plus in-person because some of you guys um I also want you, like, you could do some of these exercises at home. And I also want you to get more value over there. So, like, you could just add that as an option and get your trainers to add a virtual program in. And this, I think, like, this is something that people or a lot of online coaches are already used to this. But during COVID, when all the gyms were closed, this was a lesson that was learned the hard way, right? So, maybe just in case, get used to having the ability to transition people if you're in in-person facility to virtual and then combine the benefits because if both of them like you can add exclusive events or meetups or things like that that they get access to on the virtual side and they get training programs and all of these things in this virtual thing and it complements nicely with the in-person one. If you're in a virtual only coach, you're more than welcome to also add an in-person touch to it. Partner with a local gym or somebody like that. If you see that you're getting a lot of your clients from a certain region or a certain area, build an affiliate program with an in-person coach and be like, I think you should also go in person. And I have this system where we are working together and I can just transfer people into that. Again, another way of maximizing the LTV per client. Medium ticket sale works the same as high ticket, but you don't have to go as in depth because it doesn't require as much convincing. This also depends on the prospect quality because how warm they are, but generally I would use the same process. I'd start by breaking the ice, making a joke or something, so letting their guard down, getting them more comfortable. Then I would ask them about what's their problems, what are they struggling with, what's your current weight, um, how is that affecting you? What have you tried in the past that didn't work? All of those questions, right? How are you feeling about it? What's the like scratch the pain, get the pain. Then ask them about their end goal. What's your desired goal? Where do you want to be? You want to lose 20 kg in the night by Christmas? Well, perfect. Um, and then why is that goal important to you? Because on Christmas, my niece is visiting from United States. And last time she saw me 3 years ago, I was smart, and now I'm fat and I'm worried what she'd think about me. So I don't want her to feel bad. Well, we have the goal. Why is that important? Like, you can dig deeper even if you want. You can ask why 3 times. And she would say, well, because I'm a person who really cares about her and my loved ones are important to me. And that gives you more context, that gives them more context and gets them in the zone. Then I label them with the gap. So currently we are struggling. Your clothes are no longer fitting you, and you feel insecure when you look at yourself in the mirror. And you've tried a bunch of programs that haven't worked, and you really want to fix this once and for all. And you're worried that if you don't fix it, as time goes on, this will keep on getting worse. And by Christmas, um, you might not be able to, when your niece comes in, it's something that's going to constantly stress you. On the other hand, if we are able to come up with an action plan that fixes this and gets you to losing 20 kg by Christmas once and for all, you'll be happy, you'll feel healthier, like all areas of your life will improve. Plus, um, your overall relationships, at least from your perspective with your loved ones, would be more stronger. Does that sound like a plan? Perfect. Well, I believe the main reason why you haven't been able to um, lose weight or get to that goal so far is because in the past when you tried whatever diets or whatever workout plans, there was no accountability. Can you relate with that, where you would come in and out, but there was nobody holding you accountable, which is why you started slipping down, and it was first in the first week you were going regularly, then it became 4 days a week, then it turned into 3 days a week, then it turned into 2 days a week. Does that sound relatable, right? Like I would just use the same framework that I talked in the previous video. Um, Diagnose the root cause, whatever it is, depending on your expertise. That seems to be tell them the solution, the way we can fix that, or the way to fix that is being a part of a community, having a coach who holds you accountable, having daily check-ins, your groceries, like take a picture and send that over. And like if we do all of these things, it's that will fix that problem once and for all. You'll be able to stick to your plans and you'll be able to then please your niece at the Christmas, right? Now, with your permission, do you want me to suggest to you how we can achieve that together? And he would likely say yes, and then you present the offer, and then you ask for sales. So this is the package. It includes all of these things we mentioned earlier, plus you get all of these bonuses. And because like I really think this would be valuable to you, we could do it on this plan. I could give you this whatever, blah blah blah. I could throw these things and like make your offer, and then ask for the sale. So do you want one of the last spots? And if they throw in objections, handle those objections, overcome those objections, refer back to what they said earlier, and then be like, get them to pay and reinforce the next steps. Well, as soon as they've started, well, I'm adding you to the sheet. We'll send you your diet plans. They'll get you set up for in-person consult, blah, blah, blah. Right. Now, next thing, which is medium ticket will be easier to sell virtually. Now, this is just easier doesn't mean it's the better option. Hard way is the easy way because the easy way never gets you there. So yeah, this is a shortcut. And I'm adding this after talking about high ticket sales and prioritizing high ticket sales. And this is just here in case you guys are having trouble or you are like if you want to stick to it, just try high ticket sales. Like that's the best choice. Um, the worst case scenario, you still have these options, right? And the thing is, this is true because virtually it's slightly harder to sell. I mean, the skill set is different. as opposed to an in-person environment. In person, it's harder for the person to leave, but the marketing costs are generally higher for in person. There are trade-offs, and you have the facility cost, and virtual coaches or online coaches have trouble doing that. But at the same time, if you're selling virtually, it's very easy to get somebody to sign up for a low ticket offer up front. As opposed to, or high ticket might take multiple calls. So you could definitely do that, especially on phone sales when you're booking someone. And I think we covered this deeper into the lead nurture phase. You could do follow-up sequences with them, which I'll cover later as well. Um, and if you're getting more friction selling high ticket besides into free, also don't sell $10, $20 products. Like many of you have those listed on your bio and everywhere else and on your website. Like they don't serve any purpose. Just use that, just either make them free and then use them as lead magnets or sell medium to high ticket. Like you shouldn't sell $10, $20 products. Uh, Business economics wise, it's a weird model that is not worth it. And you're not making money from it either, unless you have a really large audience, which if you do, then you're in a different game. But yeah, next thing, last one being try to close 100% of your prospects. Downsell when they say no to high ticket. Resell, ascend, upsell. There are all of these things that you could do that all the people who are coming in on the call have something in mind for them. And then the ones who do buy the products have a customer journey plan for them. And then transition them from one sale to the next sale, from one offer to the next offer, and the next offer to the next offer. And then that's how you will be able to maximize the LTV per client. And these are a few of the plays. There are more plays as well. And I think I'll share a few more later. But generally, not to overwhelm you guys and make things complicated. Like this is something that you could most definitely use if high ticket is more uncomfortable or due to whatever reasons you're not able to do that. You can sell medium ticket and then transition to high ticket from it. Or even otherwise, if you're able to sell high, um, and then later on you want somebody to, you could also add other financial touch points that boost your overall LTV, like affiliates or supplements or things like that into the mix, right? All right, perfect. Well, thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Have a good day.